Have you ever woken up and felt like your strength just isn't what it used to be, as if your body is sending you little warning signals that you can't ignore? Maybe you noticed that grocery bags feel heavier, or you get winded faster on a short walk down the block. Those moments can be unsettling, but they also offer a chance to pay attention, to understand the gentle nudges your body gives when something needs a bit more care. Today, we're going to talk about 5 risk factors in senior health that can quietly chip away at your autonomy, and we'll share simple, practical ways you can address each one so you keep moving, thinking, and living on your own terms. As we move through our 60s and beyond, staying independent becomes a goal we work toward every day. Independence isn't just about doing chores or getting around by ourselves. It's about feeling confident in our choices, knowing we can handle whatever life throws our way without feeling like a burden to anyone. That confidence comes from understanding the challenges that can undermine our autonomy and taking action before they become obstacles. In this video, we'll explore 5 key risk factors, starting today with the first 2, and I'll walk you through small steps and real-life examples to help you stay in the driver's seat of your own life. Let's start with something we all rely on every single day, but rarely think about until it's too late: nutrition and hydration. Good fuel keeps our engine running smoothly, yet it's easy to let healthy habits slip. Skipping meals because you're busy, grabbing quick snacks instead of balanced plates, or simply forgetting to drink enough water can leave you feeling tired, weak, and even dizzy when you stand up. I remember talking to a friend named Mary, who told me she'd been struggling with low energy and occasional dizziness. We discovered she was drinking barely a cup of water after breakfast and often settling for a slice of cold pizza for lunch. Once she started keeping a glass of water by her chair, sipping throughout the day, and adding colorful vegetables and a lean protein to each meal, she noticed her strength returning within just a week. Here's a simple way to get started. Fill a large water bottle in the morning and set a goal to finish it by dinner. If plain water feels boring, add a slice of lemon or a few fresh mint leaves for a burst of flavor. When it comes to meals, think of your plate as a palette. Try to include at least 3 different colors of fruits and vegetables. A handful of berries with your yogurt, a salad sprinkled with orange bell peppers, or steamed broccoli next to your grilled chicken all help balance vitamins, minerals, and protein. Small shifts like these can add up, helping your muscles, bones, and even your brain perform at their best. Speaking of muscles and bones, our second risk factor is physical inactivity. As we age, our muscle mass naturally declines, and bones can lose density. Without regular movement, this process speeds up, leading to weakness, poor balance, and a higher chance of falls. All things that threaten the freedom to live independently. The good news is you don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights to make a difference. Gentle, consistent activity is the key. I once met John, a retired teacher who worried about his balance after a minor tumble in his kitchen. He began with 5 minutes of simple chair exercises every morning, leg lifts while seated, gentle heel-to-toe taps, and arm circles with light cans of soup. Within a month, he felt steadier on his feet and even found it easier to carry his laundry up the stairs. You might find it helpful to weave movement into daily tasks. March in place while you wait for the kettle to boil. Stand up and do a set of 5 calf raises every time you hang up the phone. If you enjoy dancing, put on your favorite tune and sway for a few minutes. Your joints will thank you. For a bit more structure, look for a gentle exercise class at your community center or an online video tailored to seniors. Many low-impact routines focus on stretching, balance, and strength without requiring any special equipment. The goal isn't to become an athlete. It's to keep your body engaged so you can climb stairs, bend down to pick up your grandchild's toy, and walk to the mailbox without fear. Now you might be thinking, those 2 risk factors already sound like a lot to manage, and they are important. But the good news is that making progress in one area often boosts your efforts in another. When you eat better, you have more energy to move. When you move, your appetite stays healthy and you sleep more soundly. It's a virtuous cycle that strengthens your body and mind together. We've covered how nourishing your body and keeping it active lay the foundation for lasting independence. In the next segment, we'll explore how caring for your cognitive health, keeping your mind sharp, and addressing your senses can further protect your ability to live life on your own terms. Now that we've talked about fueling your body and moving with purpose, let's move on to the next risk factor. As we've been talking about fueling your body with healthy meals and keeping it active with gentle exercise, there's another area that can slip through the cracks if we don't pay attention: our mental muscles. You might not see cognitive decline on your body's checklist, but it can sneak up quietly, making simple tasks feel harder, or causing moments of forgetfulness that leave you wondering if you're losing your edge. Maintaining sharp thinking is just as important as strong arms and legs when it comes to staying independent, because our capacity to plan, remember, and make decisions underpins every choice we make each day. It's easy to underestimate how much our brains benefit from regular workouts. Just as stretching keeps your joints flexible, feeding your mind with new challenges keeps neural connections alive and responsive. You don't need a complicated routine. Something as simple as reading an engaging novel instead of turning on the TV, tackling a crossword or jigsaw puzzle over your morning coffee, or swapping stories with a friend about a favorite family recipe will stretch your memory and problem-solving skills. One woman I know started swapping out her daily news scroll for a trivia app that asked her questions about history and geography. Within weeks, she noticed her conversations were more lively because she had fresh anecdotes to share, and her confidence in remembering names and dates skyrocketed. Learning something entirely new can be even more powerful. Picking up a musical instrument, trying your hand at painting, or taking a short online course in a subject you've always been curious about does more than fill time. It rewires your brain in ways that strengthen memory, attention, and even mood. It doesn't matter whether you play a few notes on a keyboard, experiment with watercolor on a Saturday afternoon, or join a virtual class on birdwatching. Each small step you take outside your comfort zone sends your mind a clear message that keeps it alert and adaptable. And when your mind feels nimble, you'll be more prepared to handle daily decisions, from managing your budget to navigating traffic safely. While you're priming your brain to stay sharp, there's another sometimes overlooked sense that plays a big role in how you interact with the world. Your vision. Poor eyesight doesn't just make you squint at the newspaper. It can increase your risk of falls when you misjudge changes in flooring, make driving more stressful when street signs blur, and even lead to social withdrawal if you're embarrassed about needing stronger glasses. Scheduling an eye exam once a year, or as often as your eye doctor recommends, is one of the simplest things you can do to protect your independence. Upgrading to a new pair of glasses, experimenting with lens coatings that reduce glare, or adding a reading light beside your favorite chair makes reading recipes or pill bottles effortless and safe. Hearing holds a similar power over autonomy. When background noise becomes overwhelming at a family gathering, or you lean in again and again just to catch the punchline, it's a sign your ears might need a little help. Untreated hearing loss can lead to misunderstandings, anxiety during conversations, and the temptation to skip social events, any of which can chip away at your quality of life and leave you feeling cut off. The good news is that modern hearing aids are smaller, smarter, and more comfortable than ever before. A quick screening at your audiologist's office, followed by a trial of discrete digital devices, can have you joining in conversations without regret and catching every nuance of your grandchild's latest story. When you take care of your eyesight and hearing, you're not just safeguarding individual senses, you're preserving the connections that let you read, drive, laugh, and engage with the people around you. Those moments of clarity and connection feed your spirit, reduce risks around the house, and give you the confidence to step out the door on your own terms. It can feel like one more thing on your to-do list, but the payoff, being able to see a bird's vivid feathers or hear a friend's greeting clearly, is priceless. Next, we'll dive into the final risk factor that often goes unnoticed, but ties all of these areas together: how you manage the medications you rely on every day to stay healthy and autonomous. Now that we've laid the groundwork with fueling our bodies and moving with purpose, there's another essential piece of the puzzle: keeping our minds sharp. Many of us wake up and immediately go through familiar routines: coffee, news headlines, a quick scroll through the phone. But our brains crave new challenges to stay agile. You might not notice the subtle shifting of mental gears until you misplace your keys for the third time that week, or struggle to recall a family friend's name at a gathering. This gentle slide in memory or focus isn't something we resign to. There are simple, enjoyable ways to strengthen those neural pathways. For instance, instead of reading the same newspaper every morning, pick up a historical novel or a memoir that takes you to a different era. Let your curiosity guide you. Dive into a subject you've always wondered about. Perhaps the life of a famous artist, the history of a distant country, or even the mechanics of your favorite vintage car. Turning learning into a daily habit keeps your mind engaged and curious, and before you know it, you'll relish the mental workout that comes from absorbing new ideas. One of the most powerful brain boosters is stepping outside your comfort zone. Maybe you've always admired musicians but never touched an instrument. Picking up a ukulele or keyboard can feel intimidating at first, but those first awkward chords are exactly what wake up your brain's learning centers. Imagine Mary, who took a free online course in watercolor painting and decided to add one brushstroke each afternoon to her canvas. She discovered that experimenting with shades and shapes sparked her imagination and gave her a fresh sense of purpose each day. And Michael, who at 70 had never tried a language app, now greets his grandchildren in Spanish, a small effort that brightens family gatherings and flexes his memory in delightful ways. Scheduling 30 minutes of brain play a few times a week, whether it's puzzles, painting, or language practice, soon becomes the highlight of your day, because every fresh challenge reminds your mind that it can adapt, grow, and stay resilient. Just as our mental muscles thrive on challenge, our senses need regular checkups and care to keep our world bright and clear. Poor eyesight can turn familiar tasks into frustrating hurdles, reading prescription labels under dim lighting, struggling to recognize faces across a room, or hesitating at the threshold of a step you once glided over. To protect your vision, aim for an eye exam at least once a year. During that appointment, mention any changes you've noticed: glare that bothers you on sunny days, halos around lights at night, or the need to hold reading material farther from your face. Upgrading to lenses with anti-reflective coatings, or experimenting with different frame styles that sit comfortably on your nose can make a surprising difference. At home, adding a bright adjustable lamp by your reading chair or strategically placing nightlights along hallways helps you move through familiar spaces with confidence. Those small adjustments let you keep reading, crafting, or supervising the grandkids' art projects without squinting or straining. Hearing is equally vital to feeling connected and safe. Losing even a small amount of hearing can lead you to apologize repeatedly, lean in closer than you're comfortable with, or avoid noisy family gatherings altogether. If you find yourself turning up the television volume higher than your spouse prefers, or asking people to repeat themselves more often, it might be time to schedule a hearing screening. Modern hearing aids are nearly invisible, customizable to different environments, and even sync with your smartphone to stream music or phone calls directly into your ears. Imagine Mary Lee, who hesitated to try hearing aids until her daughter gently suggested it, and then discovered she could follow a group conversation at a noisy restaurant again. Or think about George, who realized he was missing punchlines at family dinners and decided that clarity was worth the investment. Once you embrace these tiny devices, you'll laugh louder, speak more freely, and enjoy social events without feeling left out. When you combine a well-exercised mind with senses that let you see and hear clearly, you build a powerful safety net for your daily life. You'll feel more alert crossing the street, more confident tackling new recipes, and more at ease participating in conversations with loved ones. Looking after these areas doesn't require grand gestures, just a commitment to schedule that exam, try a new hobby, and say yes to the small upgrades that add up over time. With every brain puzzle completed and every checkup appointment marked on your calendar, you're reinforcing the skills and senses that help you remain active, engaged, and confidently independent. Next, we'll dive into our fifth and final risk factor: how the way you manage medications can either support your autonomy or quietly undermine it. Managing the medications you rely on can feel like a routine task. Picking up prescriptions, popping pills at breakfast, maybe adding a supplement here and there. But it carries hidden risks that can nudge your independence off course if you're not careful. Taking multiple medications, known as polypharmacy, is common for seniors, and each new pill adds complexity. Some can interact in ways that leave you feeling groggy or unsteady. Others might cause dizzy spells when you stand up, and the sheer number of bottles can lead to missed doses or accidental double-dipping. Imagine waking up, grabbing what you think is your heart medicine, and later realizing it was your sleep aid. You'd spend the day battling unexpected drowsiness. That kind of confusion chips away at confidence, making you second-guess whether you can manage on your own. Keeping a clear, up-to-date list of every medication, supplement, and over-the-counter remedy you take is the first step toward staying in control. You might tape the list to your fridge or store it in your phone's Notes app, whatever feels most natural. At each doctor's visit or pharmacy pickup, review the list together, asking whether every item is still needed and if any dosages can be simplified. I remember meeting Betty, who had 6 different pills to swallow at breakfast. She and her pharmacist worked out a way to switch 2 of them to a combined capsule, cutting her morning routine from 6 steps to 4. That small shift saved her worry over whether she'd forgotten something and gave her a little breathing room before heading out to avoid the post-breakfast rush. Pill organizers can be lifesavers here too. Those 7-day trays with morning, noon, evening, and bedtime slots turn an abstract task into a simple ritual. Filling the organizer once a week, perhaps while you enjoy your Saturday newspaper, creates a rhythm that's hard to miss. Many phones also offer gentle reminders with alarms labeled by medication name so you know exactly what to take and when. If you prefer paper, a handwritten schedule on a small whiteboard in the kitchen or bathroom works just as well. The key is consistency. When your medication routine becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth, you remove a potential stumbling block to your day. Sometimes the best way to lighten your pill load is to have honest conversations with your healthcare team. Certain medications that seemed essential 5 years ago might be due for review. Maybe a newer prescription can replace 2 older ones, or a natural alternative can reduce reliance on a stronger drug. Don't hesitate to ask for every prescription, is there anything I can stop taking, or a way to cut down on doses? I've heard from seniors who hesitated, worried about offending their doctors, only to discover that their physicians welcomed the dialogue. After all, safer, simpler regimens mean fewer hospital visits and complications, and that's exactly what every healthcare provider wants for you. Another piece of the medication puzzle is watching for side effects that can undermine balance and alertness, 2 pillars of independence. If you notice new dizziness, confusion, or excessive fatigue, make a note of when these symptoms occur and bring them up right away. Sometimes switching brands, adjusting the time of day you take a pill, or spacing out doses by a couple of hours can make a world of difference. I once spoke with Harold, who found that taking his blood pressure medication at bedtime instead of first thing in the morning stopped the episodes of lightheadedness that had been sending him back to bed midday. That single tweak let him resume afternoon walks without fear. As you build a medication plan that fits your rhythm, remember that your sense of agency grows with every step you take to simplify and personalize your routine. Treat medication management not as a chore, but as a form of self-care, an act that honors your desire to stay in control of your health and your life. When you embrace the process, you're not just avoiding mishaps, you're reinforcing your ability to make clear decisions, handle unexpected changes, and trust yourself to keep life moving forward smoothly. By now, you've thought about the fuel you give your body, risen to the challenge of keeping it active, exercised your mind with fresh pursuits, cared for your eyes and ears, and created a medication routine that supports rather than undermines your independence. Each of these areas we've explored weaves together to form a safety net. Proper nutrition and hydration keep your energy steady. Movement preserves your strength. Mental stimulation sharpens your focus. Clear vision and hearing connect you safely to your world. And thoughtful medication management ensures your treatments help you rather than hold you back. Living independently doesn't mean going it alone. It means taking the reins of your health with small, intentional habits that protect your freedom. You might feel like change is hard, but remember that every journey starts with one simple step. Maybe today you set out a pill organizer or swap half your snack for a piece of fruit, or try a 5-minute balance exercise. Those moments add up to lasting progress, and before you know it, you'll look back on today's choice as the spark that lit a chain of positive shifts. I'd love to hear about your own experiences. Have you found a clever way to remember your pills? A favorite hobby that wakes up your mind? Share your stories in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. If you enjoyed this conversation and want more tips for living your best life at any age, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to Stay Connected. Here's to embracing every day with confidence, curiosity, and the comfort of knowing that autonomy is yours to protect, one mindful choice at a time.